Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. In the midweek natural gas report, the new spot contract January is up today, currently trading at 458.30, up 10.2 cents or 2.3%. And as you can see here, we're between the 13 and 48-day exponential moving averages. So we're contained here. That exponential moving average comes in at 461.40. And the support one comes in at 445.70. And the RSI is trying to turn higher. We do have the EIA natural gas storage report at 12 Eastern time today. Expectations around flat. Last year, minus 2 BCF, the 5-year average, minus 25 BCF. So this will be a bearish report. We'll see how prices react. And here's the hourly chart. As you can see, we are holding below that first pivot resistance, which comes in at 464.30. And as you can see right now, we're holding above the daily pivot, which comes in at 451.60. The RSI is still open to the upside, but we're probably contained with a bearish storage report coming out. We'll keep a careful eye on the weather forecast, but right now it looks like we're going to continue to see wave after wave of cooler weather. We'll talk about that in just a second. And here's the Jan 27 versus Jan 26 spread. And as you can see, we've got a possible two-wave corrective pattern forming here. And so I've highlighted the move. That was the first potential wave. This is what's called a ledge potentially. And that would take us down to about 23 cents on this spread. What does that indicate? That we get cooler weather coming in, which would give more of a boost to the January 26 contract relative to the January 27 contract. The RSI is in negative territory. As you can see, it hasn't crossed over to the sell side yet, but it is now down on the day. It is below the 50-point level. And let's turn to the LNG. This is JKM, Japan Korea marker versus the TTF, the European marker, and it peaked out at 121.5. It's coming in a little bit today, currently trading at 109, down 3.5 cents or 3.28%. What's going on? The TTF contract is weakening on news that potentially there's a Ukraine peace talks coming with Russia. We'll see if this actually materializes. It would be months, if not years, before we actually see more Russian gas into Europe. And let's take a look at the U.S. weather forecast. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This is valid from December the 3rd through the 9th. And as you can see, typical La Nina pattern. Cool in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and New England, and is warm across the southern tier of the country from Texas all the way through to Florida. And let's look at the 3 to 4 week temperature outlook. Much of the same. This was issued back in November 21. So we'll look to see this updated here in the next day or two. But right now, everything looks like a typical La Nina pattern. And let's take a look at the GFS model. And this is what's going on. This is December the 1st. This is on the GFS, or the Global Forecasting System model. And as you can see, cold right through the midsection of the country, all the way down into Mexico. It's unbelievable. But we'll see if this continues. But as we move this model going forward, you'll see that there's consistent patterns of cool temperatures followed by a brief warm-up and then another cool front that comes through. As you can see here, that's December the 4th. Another one comes back in on December the 6th in the upper Midwest, and that gets some very, very cold temperatures coming in right there, as you can see, into the mid-Atlantic states there on December the 9th. If this materializes, we've got some very, very high natural gas demand because, again, the triangle is Chicago to New York all the way down to Atlanta. This gets most of that here with some very much below normal temperatures across the New York City area. How about Europe? Well, it's fairly mild. This is December 1 start. There's some cooler temperatures in the morning, but it's warm to the eastern side of Europe. What about Asia? Well, this is a little further out. This is December the 5th. And as you can see, eastern provinces of China, pretty much normal to cool. But then there's colder temperatures coming in through the Koreas and Japan, which is probably why that JKM versus TTF spread has blown out to the upside. And let's take a look at the U.S. Arctic and this is Alaska to Canada to Russia. And as you can see, the Bering Straits are about to close over with ice. The northern approaches to Hudson Bay, this is not filling with ice as fast as it normally would. And as a result, we don't have that body of water covered with ice yet, which would allow cold air to just slide right across and into the Great Lakes and mid-Atlantic states of the US. And here's the nuclear outages. Currently, right now, we're currently at 8.2 gigawatts. That is above the 5-year average. We've got 2 nuclear units still down at fully, which is Palisades and Callaway. And you've got 2 units which are about 50%, Surrey and Sequoia. The rest are fairly in service right now. We are going to approach the low of this maintenance and refueling season around the second week of December. So let's turn to the oil and gas E&P sector. These are stocks between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float. And our winners so far for the 1 week, well, it's CRK again, up 5.87%, and CNX, also a natural gas producer, up 3.4%. The rest, the M's are still up, which is Magnolia Oil and Gas and Murphy. The rest of them are down. So a question came in about midstream companies. These are stocks over $2 billion, have a high earnings per share growth here over this year expected and over the last few years, and have a high dividend over 5%. And these are the stocks. These are Plains GP. This is Plains All American. This is Hess Midstream. This is Antero, ONEOK, and MPLX, which was the old Marathon Petroleum. These are your midstream companies, again, over $2 billion in market cap and have a high dividend, over 5%. And we're looking at earnings per share increasing over this year. So again, recapping here for the January contract, which is the new spot contract. Again, remember, storage comes out at noon Eastern time today. We're currently trading at $458.70, up 10.6 cents or 2.37%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.